Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are good and studying at your home. So, there's a beautiful quote written: Don't complain about yesterday, make tomorrow better by making the most of today. It means you should work daily and you should work more than yesterday today. Okay? So, today we are going to start the chapter Human Resources. People are a nation's greatest resource. Nature's bounty becomes significant only when people find it useful. It is people with their demands and abilities that turn them into resources. It means there are so many things available around you, and when they become useful, when you know how to use it, what is the proper use of that, how you can just minimize the waste after using that. So, human resource is the ultimate resource. It means there are a lot of things available around you, and if you are not using them, will it be called as resource? No, they will be only remain object. But if you will use them, if you know where to use it, how to use it, then it will also come as resource. So ultimately human beings are also called as resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirement. If a person has proper education, if he is properly skilled, and if he is healthy, so what we can do is, if we are properly healthy and educated, we can turn the objects into resources as per our requirement. So, human resources, like other resources, are not equally distributed all over the world. Like there are natural resources, human made resources. Nothing is equally distributed all over the world. There can be difference in educational levels, age, and sex. If you will find out the data of different countries, like you are taking the data of 5 countries, and if you will try to find out the number of persons according to the age, you will find the difference. If you will try to find the data according to how many males are living, how many females are living, you will also find the difference in their numbers also. So whatever these numbers and whatever the characteristics you have just find out, they are not fixed, they keep on changing. It means if you are taking the data at the starting of the month, and if you will check the same data in the end of the month, you will find the difference. So these data keep on changing. Now next is the do you know is given in your book. So whatever the data of the human resources, it can also be changed, or it can be encouraged, or it can be improved also by some efforts. So in this regard, our government keep on doing something like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is one of scheme. So this scheme aimed to train 1 crore Indian youth from 2016 to 2020. So when it was started in 2015. So its aim was for a limited time, that for 4 years, that for these 5 years, our government will train approximately 1 crore Indian youth, and the objective of this scheme was to encourage aptitude towards employable skills by giving quality training to probable and existing wage earners. It means the persons who were working at that time, the government will provide the training to them, so that whatever they were earning, they will get just more than that, and they will do that work now more skillfully. It means that is, they will not do the work like they are doing now. After getting the training, they will know why they are doing that and what is the proper way of doing that proper work. Okay, now next we come to the distribution of population. As we have already discussed it, that population is not distributed equally all over the world. We can see a lot of difference in the distribution as well. Here you can see this same difference in this given figure. Most of the people, and we can just conclude that more than 70% of the people are living in Asia, then next in Europe, Africa, Central South America, Northern America, and then Oceania. So there is one question which can arise in your mind: why there is a difference between the distribution of population? It means that a lot of places available, we can live where we want to live, and we can just try to make it equal also, but no, we can't. There can be difference and there will be difference in the distribution. Why? Because the difference is based on the better employment opportunities, better educational opportunities, water availability, life expectancy, death mortality rate. So there are lot of difference, lot of factors that depend upon the distribution of population. So we will read just more for it. The way in which people are spread across the earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of world's population lives in about 30% of the land surface. So in the distribution there is a kind of pattern also. And how we can identify that pattern? The way in which people are spread across the earth's surface. So the distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. If we will just try to figure out how we have seen in the figure also, that the population distribution is extremely uneven. So many people are living in Asia and so less persons are living in Oceania. So what we can conclude is some areas are very crowded and some are sparsely populated. Like we can see in our classrooms, there are in a classroom there are 50 children and in another classroom there are 10 children. So we can say that classroom which is having 50 students, that is crowded, and the classroom which is having only 10 students, that is not crowded, that is sparsely populated. So the crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe, North America, high mountains and areas of equatorial forests. These are the areas that have a lot of population. Many more people live north of the equator than south of the equator now. If you will look at the globe, if you will look at the world map, what you will see that most of the land area is covered up to the north of the equator. So that's why more people live north of the equator. Almost 3/4 of the world's people live in two continents, Asia and Africa. This point you have to note, you must note it, that where the out of 3 parts of the world's population live in two continents, that is Asia and Africa, and 60% of the world's people just stay in 10 countries. Look, more than half of the population just covering in only 10 countries, and rest of the population is living in the rest of the countries, that is less crowded. So all of them have more than 100 million people. Now we come to the next topic, that is density of population. Now what is this density? Like we have taken the example earlier, there is a classroom with the 50 children and there is a classroom with 10 children. So what we can find, where is the density more? The density is high in that classroom where is 50 children studying, 50 students studying. So population density is the number of people living in a unit area of the earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. How we can find the data? We can find it by counting the persons as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. That means that in a square kilometer 51 persons are living, and the average density of India is 382 persons per square kilometer. It means how density is high, you can just imagine by the data. That's why India is so crowded. India is the highest populous country in the world. So South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Now we can clear the concept of density with the example of the conversation of these two students. Boy is asking, when the 30 students of our classroom are present in the classroom, we feel very crowded, but when they go to the ground, we don't feel any crowd there. We can see so many spaces empty. So the girl is replying that is because of the size or the area, because the size or area of the hall is much larger than the classroom. So when all students of the classroom go into the hall, we don't feel like crowded, but when we will try to put whole the school together there in the assembly hall also, then we will start feeling crowded. So that was the concept of density. I hope you have understood whatever we have learned today. You must read the chapter. You must underline the important points of the chapter in your book, and whatever the worksheet is shared with you, you must complete it compulsorily. Thank you.